Have you been to LA?
I've been to LA once.
Dude, if you live in LA, to get from one side of the city to the other sometimes takes hours.
Right.
That's how bad the traffic is here. Like, I have friends that live in another part of the city
Mhm.
that I probably won't see till the next presidency.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because the traffic is that bad. I'm not joking with you. I'm deadly serious.
Well, they're trying to build
You know.
a public transport kind of like subway system, right? I thought I saw that there last time.
Yeah, they do have that. It's not as efficient as New York.
Okay.
New York is subway crazy,
Yeah.
but here it's kind of like it's Mickey Mouse stuff compared to what New York is doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not to mention we have earthquakes here.
Sure.
New York does not. So the infrastructure will just completely fall apart. This is probably the most unfunniest interview you've ever done.
We're
I'm like,
tackling the news of
people
today.
are gonna
This is
die. Yeah, yeah. Was that?
we're tackling the news of today. This is good. It's super relevant.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Like, hey, so you have a comedy show coming up? I'm like, dude, you have no idea the catastrophic damage that's gonna be happening in the earthquake of Los Angeles. We're like, Jesus.
You can put this on a reel
So,
and submit it to CNN, and I'm pretty sure they'll call you and be like, "Hey, we need
yeah.
you to come on and talk politics and world events with us right now."
Did you see my web show? Like my web show is like me talking to the comics, and
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about serious stuff on there,
Hmm.
and it looks like besides the black background, if I were to have like the lighting, CNN has like the budget, have like an amazing room in the back. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
If I had that, it would look like a news station, like the way I do my show. It's pretty funny.
That'd be great. If you want to come down here, we can hook you up with like a sound booth or something. Put a computer behind you.
Yeah, like you have politicians coming in and out to do their press, and then they're like, "Is that a Vietnamese guy you have like coming in and out of the one of the sound rooms?" So like, don't worry about him. He's here every week.
He's got a pass. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's cool.
he's gonna.
That's all you
Yeah,
need.
no, you don't even address anything else. It's like, why is there, and I'm like all dressed like I'm in Kearney Mesa, and they're like, is there a reason why he's wearing sandals and shorts or anything? It's like, it doesn't really matter.
Like I know from your website and definitely just from your performances in general, um, I like how you always kind of mention at least, if not definitely go in and explaining about underrepresentation of Asian Americans in the arts and kind of trying to break that stereotype among Hollywood, I guess, for lack of a better term. Um, do you still kind of look for that type of thing throughout the gigs that you're accepting and things like that?
I kind of used to a little bit, and then the way I look at it is like the Trojan horse theory, where I here's the deal. You're here in LA. I'm here right now, and there's millions of actors from around the world. Some of the best actors from around the world here, and some of the worst.
Hmm.
They're all here. There's millions of them. So imagine going into a gladiator arena where you're fighting millions of soldiers and gladiators,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Well, okay, well that's hard, and it's hard for white people to be honest with you because if you're an average looking white guy, you're going up against another 1,000 white dudes
Hmm.
for a part, maybe more, maybe I don't know, tens of thousands, right?
Right.
So I was just in a studio recently. I can't say the name of it. Major network studio, and it was a part for an Asian person, and I used to be a little like peeved by that, and then now I look and I go, actually, this is not bad because there's only 20 of us in here or 30 of us, right? And then I go, and then out of those 30, it keeps whittling down. So eventually, some of these auditions, it comes like I have like a 1 out of 4 or less chance, like 1 out of 3 chance of landing that part.
Wow.
Now, after you go through the whole pool of talent, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So so now it's like, well, I don't actually hate the Asian stuff so much. And as a matter of fact, there are Asians that have accents.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna do a stereotypical like really bad. I mean, I don't have to name them, but like the really bad stereotypes where it's really
Oh yeah.
degrading. I'm not gonna do that. But if it's like a shop owner and the guy has an accent, absolutely. You know why? Because those were my parents, and I'm not ashamed of my parents.
Hmm.
You know. So I know that was a very serious answer, but I mean that was a pretty serious question. I
No,
don't know how
yeah.
to make that
I love
funny.
that we got
Yeah.
one serious answer and question within this
Are we gonna
interview.
are we gonna go into the subway deaths now?
I feel like
And I
though,
go,
since you sent it to me now, I definitely have to read those closing credits. Your next feature film. Well, that's already happened actually. Kong Skull Island. I should probably learn how to say it first. It's
yeah,
already out there, so anybody who's listening to this right now can check out Dat Phan in that film, as well as on network TV, including Bones, Scorpion, The Last Ship.
Yeah, Scorpion. I think Scorpion is CBS. Bones is on Fox, and then Startup is on Sony Crackle, and then Kong Skull Island was national theater release. I'm sorry, national the world.
Right.
So I don't know how many a couple like 100 countries that it played in theaters, and then it's now on Blu-ray, and you can get it streaming. You could probably watch it on not Netflix, but some type of streaming thing, and then maybe Netflix. I have no idea. And then also The Last Ship's on TNT, and then I also have a major commercial coming out. I'm not allowed to say what it is because I'm under contract with an NDA, and then I also have another thing that I'm waiting for, which I'm not. You know what's weird is that when we audition or we have these things, it's so weird because we know the news here, but we have to keep it a secret from the world because of the NDAs. So it's so weird because when people finally find out about it, it's like 3 months later.
Yeah.
And they go, oh man, I just saw you. This is, and imagine somebody reminding you of something that happened 8 months ago. But it's current. It's current for you, but it's not current for me. You know what I'm saying?
So we should preface all this with look for Dat Phan in 3 months from now on local TV stations.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's weird because they go, you don't seem too excited. I'm like, honestly, that was recorded back at the last year. Is when it was filmed. You know what I mean? But then you have to try to pretend. Yeah, go ahead.
Is this the normal kind of time frame with, and even TV shows? Is this, you do something and then you have to kind of just sit around and be like, man, I can't wait to tell my friends to watch something in the next few months or whatever, or it's just kind of, hit and miss certain things like this?
Yeah, it's funny because what you're saying is pretty current. Like, I'm waiting for something right now, and that's all I can tell you as far as that part. And it's torture. It's torture because it's something that can change my life and others around me. Huge show, and I can't say anything about it. And it's like sometimes you're waiting for days, weeks for them to get back to you. And you're like, oh, I don't know what's up. And I don't even tell a lot of my friends because I don't want to jinx it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now, not to mention the NDA. So yeah, and then when they finally make up their mind, it could be 2 weeks from now. Right. And then even when you film it, you can't even tell anybody. So you're like secretly, you can't even do like a selfie in front of this,
Yeah, look at me on set.
Studios. Yeah, you can't do that because then they'll because they monitor the websites and you're like, okay, well now I feel like I'm Jason Bourne, I'm hiding from.
Behind a screen, just like watching you for.
Well, no. If I post stuff on my Twitter, on my Instagram, and all that, and it's very obviously something that breaks the NDA, they see it. Oh wow! Not to mention if it gets hashtagged by a fan, so like. It's exciting, but at the same time, it's kind of like you have to really watch it these days with the cyber social media. You know what I mean? Right. So, but it's exciting. I mean, it's a good place for me to be in. On the good side, because I know there's supposed to be happy news, and the good side is, there's comics here, unfortunately, that are living out of their car in LA, right? I see them all the time, and I wish I could help them, but there's millions of them here, and I used to be one of them. Like 2 decades ago. However. Now it's like I feel very blessed and very fortunate to go back to my home and have a nice big flat screen and have food in my stomach and now my biggest problem is waiting for the networks or the motion picture studios to give me an answer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean it's stressful, but at the same time I feel very, very fortunate to have what I have.
Yeah, a lot of people will definitely pick up your name from that first season of Last Comic Standing, being the first season winner. I remember watching you during that show when it came out and just loving that entire show and how that started. Did you ever think, like during that show, that eventually you're going to be at this point where you are just kind of like, oh, gosh, this major network just won't get back to me?
Yeah. It's kind of funny because when I was on the show Last Comic Standing, I basically was very naive in the sense that I didn't really fully know how industry worked. I just knew that I had to believe in what I believed in as far as I'm going to try to make it as far as I can. But it's like you don't know what you know until later on you realize, wow, I didn't know. For example, back in Last Comic Standing when I was competing, I was just thinking, all I could see is like blue light coming from the skies. Like I know it sounds insane what I'm telling you, where it's like competing in the Olympics. Like I got to make it as far as I can. Like everything I've got, I'm willing to die for this. But that's all you know. That's all you know, right?
Right.
And then now today, I look back and I go, I see the entire chessboard here, or not all of it, but a good chunk of the chessboard in LA.
Hmm.
And I know you're like, wow, and this is, I want to warn you about this. On Last Comic Standing, I was the same way, because I was very serious and methodical
Hmm.
on the thing, so they challenged me, and then
I
when I went head
remember
to
that.
head,
Yeah, you kept notes,
yeah, I
right?
switched. Yeah, I kept notes.
I
They called me
remember that.
Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Yeah.
because there's actually two sides of me. There's the side that's the left brain methodical chess player, and then there's the right side that's the creative. Why you make the white good? What the hell wrong with you? That's the whole other side.
Right.
But there's an appropriate spot for both. Like, I want to make you laugh right now, but at the same time, I'm like trying to give you a legit answer instead of like you asking me a question. I go, well, you see, what I do is I date a bunch of white girls, and then the karma. I was like, well, that really doesn't really answer the question. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like Robert Williams, one of my heroes. I had a chance to work with him a couple of times and get to know him, and then like I watched him get interviewed, and he would go into a full blown impromptu bit,
Hmm.
and I just realized, wait a minute, that whole interview, he probably answered 20% of the questions.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't really give a legit. You know what I'm talking about?
But
The
those
rest
are
of
the
the time,
best ones, right?
is
Where it's just like, okay, we're gonna sit down and yeah, we might get some serious answers in, but I mean,
yeah,
is
yeah,
that gonna make the perfect interview? Well, it's like a Ted Koppel behind the chair, like, oh, we're gonna talk about this.
yeah. Well, if you want the fun inside, well, what's the question? I'll give you the right brain answer to it. What's the one?
All right,
What's the same question?
I'll toss out one question I had on my list here.
Sure.
Um, Let me just rifle through it. Okay, yeah, you like food. I read that, right? You're a foodie. You consider yourself a foodie?
Yes,
Okay.
I love food. My favorite type of food is when I eat Asian food,
Mhm.
and then there's a white girl in front of it, and it's together. Actually, it's fun. I went to a pho restaurant one time. There's a freaking white chick
Right.
who was a waitress there, and I said, "Folks, the time has come." Because I think white chicks are hot, but I'm like, "The time has come. This is what my family came to America for: is to order a bowl of pho, Vietnamese soup, and then there's a girl named Stacy asking to take your order." I mean, have you seen that before? I mean, have you been? Do you eat pho? Do you know what I'm talking about, or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you go in there, and there's like a hot white chick, that's ordering your thing. And
Right.
I think what's hotter is if she speaks Vietnamese. I'm gonna marry that chick if that's the case.
Have you found that woman out there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My dating is like some of the pilot TV shows out there. It basically ends at season one, and then that's where my dating ends
Just
right
season
there.
one.
Yeah, I don't even make it through season one. I get killed off in episode one. That's my dating life.
This sounds like
my,
a pitch too. I wonder if ABC will pick this up.
yeah, yeah. It's called Single Vietnamese Guy, and it's we'll see how far that pitch meeting
We'll
goes.
work on the title, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We love it. We love it, Mr. Fran. Just continue on with your. Who's gonna watch this? Your mom? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have the rating of one viewer, and it's my family,
Must see
basically.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just and they're sharing a Netflix account, so it doesn't even count. So basically, my rating is 0.
La Jolla Comedy Store on October 29th.
Age 21 and up, 2 drink minimum. It is rated R, just to warn you guys. I know there's a lot of viewers here that are wondering if I'm church clean. I can be church clean, but on that night it is rated R.
Right.
You check your IDs. It's October 29th, 2017 at 6 p.m. is the doors, and then 7 p.m. is the show.
Okay.
There's a music pre-show before that, and then it's Dat Phan and Friends, and I'm there just once every couple of months or so, unless I'm filming. Then it could be once every 3 months.
Okay.
We're already over halfway sold out for that show.
Oh wow, great. And yeah, you're
Yeah,
going to be performing with a lot of other comics as well. So are they going to be local too?
Yeah, they're local, and being Vietnamese, I like to have 4 billion openers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you go and watch a movie at AMC, and then there's like 13 trailers, and then by trailer number 11, you look at your friend and you're like, wait a minute, what movie are we seeing again? Are we watching? Like, you get to the point where you think you're watching the Justice League, but it's actually I don't know, Seventh Heaven the movie. That's like the worst example. Hey, bro, we're gonna watch Seventh Heaven the movie. Like, yeah, it's on, man. So no, but you're talking about, you ever go watch those movies and then it's like by the 8th trailer, you're like, I don't even know what I'm watching. Yeah, but let me tell you this: you're asking if you get your money's worth. You get half-price tickets in advance on brownpapertickets.com. And then you definitely get your money's worth because it's like over 2 hours of stand-up comedy.
Wow.
No, but if they wait, it's $25 at the door. But if you get it in advance, they get half-price tickets off of Brown Paper Tickets.
Yeah, that's a good
So
deal.
it's Yeah, it's a good deal. For you don't have to be Vietnamese. You can be white. You could be La Jolla. It doesn't matter. Is that even a word for it? La Jolla.
La
I,
Jolla. I don't even
I'm
know.
rambling. I'm rambling. I think I'm rambling on. But no, hey, thank you so much for interviewing me.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for
Okay.
taking the time to talk to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thank
I
you, Mark.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna stalk you on Instagram now. I'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. All right,
Okay. All right.
thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right. Bye.